Okay, friends, yet another experiment going here. It is just after midnight on Sunday night, April 3rd, I think, 2011. I don't know whether I'm going to just speak or whether I will read the written journal that I have here set up and ready to go. I had kind of halfway planned to do that. I hadn't really planned to record or not, whatever, you know? Plans, what good are they, right? Go with the flow. So, yesterday, I guess, I put out the second journal of 4-2, and this is the first one. So let me see about reading that to you. It goes pretty well with the second one. They form a nice pair. Okay, so the Mayan day is 12 monkey. It's called Coming Out of Pain into Joy. Song of the Pied Piper of Heart. Spotting Mind at Work. And as usual, I have forgotten most everything that's in it. So, this is the first day I have awakened in joy for a while. That used to be natural, but lately the pain has interfered. I well know that everything brings blessing, though. I watch to see this unfolding, but it matters not if I don't see it or don't understand. I know it is true. Everything works to the ultimate blessing or good. What strikes me just now, though, is the way in which my rather long stretch without adequate pain medication has resolved itself with relation to the Mayan calendar. It was on the 9-day that the doctor changed her mind and reinstated the prescriptions. The heading or summary for the Mayan 9 energy is patience. It was on the 10-day, whose summary is manifestation, that I picked up the new scrips, actually had the meds restored. And it is now on the 12th day, as I write this, whose reading or summary is heading or summary is understanding, that joy returns. Things that make you go, Now, today's Mayan sun sign is monkey, the weaver of time. A good day for new beginnings, and I like that. Now, what have I learned? From this, some of the most difficult time in the life so far, time when I tried to mostly just sleep off the pain, what is the gain? For the moment, the biggest thing that stands out is that I was witness to a certain passivity with suffering, because I had to participate now in standing strong so as not to be overcome by the pain. This passivity was highlighted. It became visible. It pointed me in a certain direction so that I could go excavate out of the subconscious that line or frequency of energy that chose to lay down and just take it, rather than stand up and fight to be free. Not a pretty energy, one that had remained largely hidden until then. This internal excavation work calls for strong determination. If your will isn't focused in it, don't expect good results. I found that it was quite a challenge just to focus my will. The strong or powerful invocations and calls I needed to make, at first they didn't come easily. The spirit in me seemed wimpy. What a surprise. Now, no one's spirit is wimpy. Spirit, the way I use it, is the level of our perfection. So, to find the spirit in this state was to know it was being oppressed, suppressed. What a great opportunity. The cords and bindings just needed to be cut. The power of the spirit needed to be loosed or uncovered. What was hiding or repressing it? Now, truthfully, at this point, I don't have much concern for what exactly was repressing my spirit. My concern was simple, one-pointed: free the spirit. The flavor of the problem didn't matter. So that was the work that I did. Now, higher self knows everything. Get that? Your higher self knows everything. Did you know that? It won't always reveal it to you, but it knows. Thus, when you put yourself in a position to do such work, the right prayers and calls will simply come through you. There's no need to get the mind involved to any extent. Heart knows what it is doing. Thus, there were perhaps many incarnations of the long-suffering, patient monk, priest, or nun that were banished or brought into resolution that day. And the work is ongoing. There are times as an ascetic when suffering was actually sought out. We had and have other purposes in those lifetimes. It's not that no pain is good and lots of pain is bad. It's not that the life is good, this life is good, and that one was wrong or bad. The focus and direction of the lives is simply different. Now, like perhaps everyone else, as I walk through my last earth incarnation, there is no more need for the walk of pain and suffering. Those walks are for other times, seeking other sorts of development of experience. Yet, those lives impact this one, here and now. All time is one, is simultaneous. Though we may not have conscious access to our other lifetimes, they are ongoing right now. They impact and influence us. This can remain unconscious, or we can begin to come into conscious awareness of it. Now, by this, I don't mean trying to come into particular memories. What was my name or occupation in some other lifetime, so I can go look it up in some book somewhere? I could hardly care less about that sort of thing. That is looking to superficials. I'm working deeper. Heart works deeper. I speak of coming into awareness of the energies that are at work, always, underneath. What is the energetic signature of that lifetime? How is it tied into my energy of this one? How is that manifesting? Is it holding me down in some way? What do I want to manifest now that maybe this interferes with, or that it supports? Do you see how name and position or title in some other lifetime is extraneous to this? How they just rest on the surface? And do you see further how it is the mind that seeks out such details? Do you see then how many people get distracted on their spiritual path this way? By letting mind enter and begin to control what you are looking for or at, it's terribly easy to lose our spiritual direction. You go off in a mind-directed detour. It may sometimes be many lifetimes before you find yourself once again and come home to heart center, to what's truly, deeply important. Or it may only be hours or minutes. Depends somewhat on how present you are, how heart aware. Heart values are 1,000,000,000,000 miles away from mind values. They make no Venn diagram intersection, no vesica Pisces. Not that I have found anyway. My friends, to be off in the mind, letting it rule you and guide your path, that's to be lost in 3D for what could seem forever. Why is that? Because there's no way out of that, not through using the mind. And when you have both infinity and eternity as your playground, well, it could simply be a very long time before you come to the realization that once again points you to heart. With all of that endlessness to explore, well, by the time we discover that it's heart that's the answer, heart that brings us true freedom, we will have learned quite a lot. We'll likely be quite weary of the whole thing too, in one sense. We're so very ready simply to move on. Perhaps you can relate. I know many can. To continue allowing mind to lead or guide the exploration is to limit our journey to a flat plane, when what we desire is truly deeper or higher dimension. It's actually rather like the change from flatland to 3D, from 2D to 3D. To me, it seems similar. It's that radical. Heart's difference from the head's ways of being is monumental. So is your possible expansion and growth once you find heart. You become, as it were, almost another person. Well, not really. Better said, you transcend personhood. And yet, that's not very well saying it either. Such things just don't fit well into words. Not at all. Be in heart. So I stand here, the Pied Piper in a way, calling all home to the heart. I whistle and play my odd little tune, meant to awaken both yearning and memory. There's not a thing I can tell you that you don't already know deep within. That's what is awakening, the fullness of the greater or inner self you've always been. We took a long journey, quite a sojourn into matter, my friends. Now it's time to go home, home in consciousness, to move from the surface of life back to the heart, the core, and the soul of it, to journey within. This is your own native kingdom. We've all quite forgotten that we're rulers there. We wanted to come out and play. Well, we did a good job of that. Like playing blind man's bluff, where one is not only blindfolded, but spun around until quite dizzy before being let go to seek out the target, the ever-moving target. We got thoroughly dizzified, wandering around in the material cosmos, 3D, in matter. We got lost on the surface for a very long time. Well, hear the inner bells chiming now. Feel that resonance. Follow where it leads. That is your own heart singing to you. Come home to yourself.